Welcome to Sugar Daddy's podcast, where we get real about love, money, and everything in between. I'm your host, Namon Jones, here with my co-host, Diopla Sample. What's up, D?
What's going on, Namon?
Man, they say love don't cost a thing, but what about companionship?
Hey, man, we just two grown-ass men having real talk, making real connections.
Welcome to another episode of Sugar Daddy's podcast. That's Sugar Daddies with a Z, that is. And don't forget to follow us on all platforms at Sugar Daddy's podcast. I'm your boy, your host, Big Daddy. And listen, everybody wants something. You know, they want that girl, they want the money, the deal if you're a CEO, or that position, that title. They want the lifestyle. But the real question is, at what cost are you willing to get it? What are you willing to spend? And even deeper, at what cost are you willing to keep it? See, it's one thing of getting it and you're spending something, but it also costs to keep it. Some of y'all didn't even lose. You didn't lose. You just paid too much for what you got. So listen, we want to dive into it. And again, follow us on all platforms. We're going to dive into this thing tonight at Sugar Daddy's podcast with a Z. Look, let's dive in. Let's talk about it. What are you willing to give, and what are you willing to do to get what you want? You see, some of y'all are what I call shape-shifting. You're not being real. You're auditioning. You're changing how you talk. You're changing how you move. Some of you all are spending money you don't even have just to impress somebody who may not even be worth it. What are the costs? What is it costing you? You know, I know a guy met a woman he couldn't afford, but instead of walking away, he stepped his spending up. Rent, bags, trips. He wasn't dating her. He was financing her. And that's what a lot of people are doing. The same thing in business. What is it costing you, folks? You want that title so bad. You'll step on people, burn bridges, sell your soul a little just to get there. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're going to sleep with somebody, do what you got to do. And then you get there, nobody respects you. Yeah, you got the position, but lost the people. Don't let me get started on friendships. Believe me, I know too well about the friendship aspect of it. The cost of friendship, man, that's something. It costs a lot. Some of you all are even yes men to your friends. Always available, always agreeing, always overextending. They don't even respect you. They just use you. And that's what you get accustomed to. You're spending that at your expense. If you got to lose yourself to keep a seat at the table, that's not your table. Hey, listen, we're going to get deeper into it, y'all. That's not your table. Look, what is it costing you to stay? That's a deep question, isn't it? What is it costing you to stay? Is it your mind? Is it your peace? Because getting it is one cost. But staying too long, that's a whole different bill. Can you afford that bill? You can't get your time back. That's an investment. You're stuck. You're not stuck. You're just afraid to admit it's a bad investment. It's a bad investment. That relationship, it's draining your peace. That job, stressing you out. That situation, you're not growing in it. It's stressing. You're staying because you've already invested time. That's not a good reason. Sometimes you got to cut your loss. Let me tell you something. You've been in a relationship, you didn't waste 5 years, but you're about to waste 10 if you don't move. Same thing with business. You got a bad client, good money, but draining your soul. Draining your soul. Great client because it's good money. They late on their payments. They disrespect. Some of it, the scope is kind of creepy. Every bad client you keep is blocking the great one you deserve. Let me say that again. Every bad client you keep is blocking the one you really deserve. Again, follow us on all platforms. Sugar Daddies Podcast. That's Sugar Daddies with a Z. Look, let's be real. Men will do anything, and I mean anything, to get what they want. I'm telling you right now, anything. Let me tell you something. I took a deep dive into our DMs. And when I was walking through some of the stories, and listen, I really do read your DMs. I appreciate you all reaching out, asking for advice, wanting conversation. It's amazing. I do. I love it. Thank you. Keep it coming. But I read an interesting story. Someone wrote me and said, listen, I just wanted to share my story and how do I overcome it? Must be an aspiring sugar daddy, but fell on some hard times, wanted to bounce back, was doing well, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I told you, it's not a cheap man's game by any means. However, I'm reading the DMs, and the one writer says they went out to an event. I'm suggesting that this writer must have been an older gentleman, maybe his 50s, I don't know. But according to the dialogue, it sounds like he was a little older. And he was at an event, met a younger woman. Met this younger woman, but she had it going on. I mean, the way he described her in this DM, she was beautiful, she was gorgeous. He played it cool. He was a sugar daddy before, but he had some challenges, right? And so, bouncing back, trying to get back to the scope of things, and what does he do? Gives us her phone number. They exchange information. They have conversation. The DM said they live about, an hour and a half one way from one another. One day he gets the phone call. She calls and says, hey, I want to hang out. I want to come kick it. Come hang out with me. Come take me out, is what she said, exactly he said. And so as I dove a little bit further into the DM, he said he had to call a friend and asked a friend for $100. Just take her to lunch. He paying back because he was in between some things, just bouncing back. Get it? Okay, cool. So he wanted $100 to take her out on lunch. I guess that's okay for a first date, whatever, lunch. Get it. That's not the focal point. Focal point is he borrows $100 from his friend. He drives an hour and a half one way to meet this woman that he was so mesmerized by. He gets there, hour and a half. They have a good time. He take her out. Stays the night. Must have been a great night. Next morning, wakes up, go outside. Car was towed. Parked in the wrong place, wrong time. Wrong area, whatever the case may be. What happens? He has to call somebody else. Help bail him out. Get a tow truck. Now, he's about $400 or $500 in. Gas, food, borrowing all this. That was an expensive ass date. The woman don't know any of it. So as I read the DMs and I start this dialogue of this episode, it just made me think about what is that actual cost. You know, people are renting cars, borrowing watches, living a fake life just to impress somebody. What are we doing, folks? The cost of it. If you got to rent your life, don't expect a permanent relationship, ladies. Same thing. You got to rent your life. You can't expect that. Y'all are living double lives, some of you. 2 women, 2 expenses, 2 headaches. You don't have 2 women. You have 2 full-time bills that you cannot afford. And that's what's happening. And then there's the overextender. You're saying yes to trips, dinners, gifts, just not to look broke? Are you kidding me? You're not broke because of income. You're broke because of impression management. Yeah, impression management. Think about that for a second. Impression management. That's it. So look, here's the real question. Instead of asking, how do I get it, get her, get it, get the position, ask yourself this question. Can I afford it? Can I afford to get that job? Yeah, I'm making I should deserve it because of education, but can I afford it mentally? Am I ready for it emotionally, financially? Yeah, just because it may sound good for money, is it good for my health? Is it good for my family? Run everything through 3 checks. This is what I call it. Run everything in life, relationship, whatever it is, 3 checks. Does it disturb my peace? Does this align with my purpose? Is it worth the price? Because just because you can afford it doesn't mean you can sustain it. You got to ask yourself those 3 questions. Is it worth those 3 things? So today, I want you to take inventory. What in your life is costing you too much? Take inventory. Is it the relationship? Is it the job? The friendship? The lifestyle? What is it? Take inventory. Because the most expensive thing you can do in life is stay somewhere you've already outgrown. You don't want to do that. It's going to cost you. Why? I just told you, time is expensive. You can't get that back. It's expensive. Look, getting something is one cost. Staying too long is a whole different bill. I told y'all the story about my mom. She dated this guy for 17 years when I was younger. I didn't know. I stayed in a child's place as I was told. And I watched my mom get beat on. I watched my mom get cheated on, all those things. 17 years she stayed in this relationship. 17 years. It cost her 17 years of her life. Imprisonment. Well, he paid a bill every once in a while. This dude was married the whole time. Had another whole family on the other side of town. I could see if everybody knew something or what have you, but my point I'm making is this dude took 17 years of her life. Cost way too much. Cost way too much. It cost her everything. Trips to the hospital, black eyes, broken bones, let alone love. I mean, it was a different bill. Cost way too much. So listen, if you stand too long, you better cut them losses. Cut your losses before it's too late. Look, make sure you follow us everywhere at Sugar Daddy's Podcast. That's with a Z. At Sugar Daddy's Podcast. That's on TikTok. That's on Instagram, Facebook, all over the platform, YouTube. Come on, follow us. Share everything that you see. Listen, come on, let's dive back into it. Stop paying the wrong price. I know someone, sugar daddy, cool cat, whole 9. This guy wanted to date this little, when I say little young fine thing, I mean beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, everything that you can imagine. Beautiful in every dimension. It was everything that he could dream of. But his cost of paying the wrong price was, he flew her out. He took her on trips. He was doing all those things. However, it was costing him and costing him and costing him. What was it costing him? Leaving work, getting caught up, being late for meetings, doing any and everything for her. And because we're in this world of entertainment, as you all know my background, so in this world of entertainment, you know, even more amazing when he wanted to cut it off at some point and it was time for her to cut the losses, she became what I call the access chaser, right? She wanted access and get into elite rooms and clubs and circles where she had no reason to be in, no room to be in, the whole 9. But guess what? It was costing because he was chasing it and chasing it and chasing it. And it got to a point where it became uncontrollable. And it was costing him his peace. It was costing him his income. It was costing him everything. She became an access chaser. You know what else it costs you? It costs you this thing called karma because you got to pay it back. Why? What happens? I know a sugar daddy who had a woman at home, met another woman. He ended up falling in love with her. And what did he do? He kicked the other woman out. It was detrimental. Then they fell on hard times. And when they fall on hard times, struggling to keep her. Why? Because you're trying to keep up access to what you used to do. It hurts. It hurts when you see not only friends, relationships go through what they go through, but it hurts when someone is on the outside looking in and you find individuals that it's costing them their mind. You see individuals costing them their time. You see individuals that you love and that you care for, and there's nothing they can do that you can do about it until they realize the expenses that are flowing out, the expenses that are taking place in their life mentally, the expenses of life is detrimental. And so when you say, can you afford it mentally? Can you afford it emotionally? Can you afford it financially? I know someone who wanted this job so bad. I'm serious. Good friend of mine. Won't put him on blast, but a real good friend. In this media business, y'all, you spend years of chasing quotas. It gets stressful. And you want the promotions. You want to elevate because with every promotion comes more money, as you all know. But this good friend of mine was at a pivotal point. This is early in the career. He wanted out. He wanted out of the current role. He wanted to jump into a new role. This new role would have elevated the career. The new role was an elevation in title, elevation in position, elevation in revenue. So what happens? Interviews. He researches, dives deep into the job profile and the job requisition. He wanted to understand the complexities of the job. He wanted to understand who he'd be managing, who'd be reporting to, and how he was going to orchestrate and come up with all this revenue because he was in charge of sales and all the elements of this new role that he had never had before. But he wanted this position. Wanted it. We all do. We all want to elevate. And he looked at the role. He figured he could do it. And what happened? He got the position. He couldn't stay in the position 6 months. 6 months came. He was ready to quit. They were ready to fire him. It just wasn't working out. Why? Preparation. Why? Overextending himself. Why? He wanted the role, maybe wasn't prepared for it. So many different elements and reasons of the why. However, it was costing him so much. It wasn't healthy. Going back and forth to the hospital, spending hours of his time trying to get it right. And when he really drove down to it, he understood that even in the previous role he had, when he counted up his time that he was wasting and the effort and the time that he was putting in the new job, he realized he made more money because he had more time at the old job. What am I saying? The cost to sustain even the new role. Yeah, it was a promotion, and everybody celebrated. Oh, you went on LinkedIn, and you went out on social, and everybody was, woo-hoo-hoo, yeah, we made it. And it was good. But what happened? Couldn't sustain it. The cost of getting the promotion cost him his health, cost him the job, cost him an era where he had to then pick up the pieces. The cost of the promotion was worth more of his sanity than anything. So really, was it a promotion? What was the cost that he sacrificed so much for? So can he really afford it? When you ask yourself that question, can you afford it mentally? What will it do to you? Can you afford that relationship mentally? The stresses of life financially. It's drivers. When you look at any situation you get into, it should all line up with your vision. You heard me talk about this a lot of times in the past episodes. We talked about drivers. We talked about elements of things that would keep you in relationships, elements that would cause you to stay in a relationship or get out of a relationship. We talked about a lot of these things. One of the biggest things we talk about is finances. If you're an aspiring sugar daddy, if you're a sugar baby, you got to think about your cost of your livelihood, your cost of friendship. This game that you're getting into, ladies, gentlemen, it isn't for the faint of heart. Women, you get into these lifestyles, you're going to have people judging you. You're going to have people looking at you. The women that I know, the women that I've dated, the sugar babies, all those things, they're so happy because, again, the elements. What are the elements? They get something out of it. They get a business. They get some education. And it's just beyond just money. It's beyond just sex. It's beyond those things. It's beyond just the normalcy, what I call, of a sugar daddy, sugar baby kind of situation. But if it ain't all in the right vein, if it ain't all in the right, on the same page, if you are not all together, it's going to cost you. What are you willing to pay for it? Men will go all out. I told you the story growing up, and I can tell it now. You know, my brother doesn't mind. Love you, bro. He'll get me later on, y'all. But growing up, we lived in this house, fairly big house, 2-story house growing up then. And he was on the bottom floor. And for those of you who don't know, didn't hear this story, but my brother used to like to sneak out, right? Because he was in love with this woman. Now, as you can imagine, he's in high school at the time. Just kind of tell you that it's just in our DNA, the species of a man or who we are. He's in high school, probably a senior in high school, and I was in middle school. I'm, younger. I'm the youngest of my family, my siblings. And let me tell you something. He would do anything for her. You hear me? But when she got to calling, he would get to running. He was on the bottom floor, and 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning would hit. He'd sneak out, and he'd go to her house, and usually he could have enough time to come back and get home before anybody wakes up or anything. And one day he got caught. Mama came home or came downstairs or what have you and thought that something was a little strange. Knocks on the door. No one answers. She's trying to figure out what's happening. He Jimmy rigged the door somehow, so whenever she tried to get into the door, the music would kind of cut on, and he was kind of smart in that that perspective. And so what happens? He gets caught. She finally opens up the door all the way and finds that he's not in the room, and she calls the police, thinks he's going, something happened, and wakes me up. We literally have the police follow us to the girl's house. We get to the girl's house. He rides the bike out there, leaves the bike on the side of the house. The police officer knocks on the door. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. And as somebody knocks on the door, the police goes around the back of the house. My mom's at the front door. And this young lady's mom comes out and says, "How can I help you?" And everybody comes to the door, including the young lady that my brother was there to see. And she says, "Is my son here?" And they all say, "Oh, no, we haven't seen him." She goes, "Interesting, because the bike is on the side." And so they exchange some conversation. They close the door. The police officer comes back around. He says, "I heard something jump behind and the back, but I didn't want to jump out and scare him." So the police says, "Hey, listen," points to me, wants me to get on the bike at about now 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, ride the bike home as he follows me with the police lights on behind me. And so, ride all the way home. By the time I get home, put the bike up, my mom and the officer are still outside. I come back in, and seriously, my brother's on his bed, and he's breathing. He's out of breath because this joker ran all the way home. I said, boy, mama gonna get you. And he looks at me, he said, oh no, I got a story for her. I got it. I'm like, I got to see this. I want to get the popcorn. Mama comes back in the room and gets right to it. Where the hell you been? And he tells her this story. He and somebody was trying to steal the bike, and he went running and looking for him, and he even scratched up the car trying to get the bike in. Man, my mama was pissed, and she beat his ass. She made my brother move out of that room, move upstairs. Not even a week later, I happened to be waking up because at that point when she moved him upstairs, we were there sharing rooms because I shared a room with my older brother. And so she made him move downstairs, and my other brother, it was just one of those things. And so we're there sharing rooms, and what happens? He opens up the window and shimmies down the side of the gutter to go and repeat what he just did. What am I saying, folks? That whole story. Men would do anything. You got to understand, ladies. You got the good box. You got what it takes. A man will do anything. He will do anything. He will do anything to get you. But if you don't play your cards right, it'll cost you everything too, because you could lose it all. It is give or take. So what am I saying? The cost of everything. Men will do it. We'll do it in businesses. Women, you do it all the time. We see it. Go to any strip club, you see it. Stop paying too much. That's the bottom line. Stop paying too much. You're overpaying. Listen, I got one final thought, and I'm going to leave it at this. I hear people all the time talk about, I need a new opportunity. I want a new job. I want a new man. I want this. I want that. Listen, some of y'all don't need a new opportunity. You need to cut your losses. You cut your losses, your opportunity that you thought you needed a new one of is right there before you. Cut your losses. Because the most expensive thing you can do in life is stay somewhere too long. I've already said it. Cut your losses. Stop spending too much. Listen, you're overpaying. If it's going to cost you your peace, if it's going to cost you your mind, your heart, your money, your time, it's way too expensive. You need your mind, you need your heart, you need those things to really function well in any kind of capacity, any relationship. All these stories I told tonight, all these different storylines that we had conversations around. Listen, what do they have in common? It cost them something. It cost them their time. It cost them love. It cost them their jobs. It cost them their money. One thing I'll tell you, cut your losses quick. Why? I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. I know that. But you end up in the long run coming out a little bit better if you know when to cut your losses soon enough. I promise you, nothing replaces your mental capacity. If you're in the right mind space, you make terrible decisions. I promise you. You're going to make decisions bad when it concerns love. You're going to make decisions bad when it concerns finances. Wrong decisions when it comes to dates. Wrong decisions on anything and any level if you ain't got your mind right. Many of y'all bring it home. Have a bad day at the job. You hate the job. You come home and you wear your family out. I'm telling you now, you're spending too much. Invest in your mind, invest in your time. Again, I love y'all so much. This has been a wonderful time with you all. This has been Sugar Daddy's podcast, Sugar Daddies with a Z. I love you. I'm your boy, Big Daddy. Till next time, I'll see you soon. Take care.